When I first saw this product, I thought it looked kind of crazy. Didn't really understand what the benefits would be, but after 30 days, I could not believe my before and after picture. Hey, hey, hey!
Hey, we're back, and Sean still hasn't learned how to do a live. I gave him weeks. I said, Sean, come on, let's do live. And he's like, just can't do it.
Next week, people. I will actually advertise it next week. We're going to be live.
Next week's like tomorrow. It never comes.
No, it will. We want you to give Lisa your questions in a live session. But today, look, a hell of a lot to go through. Jeez, it's been exciting, eh?
It's been epic. It's actually been really epic. And it's like my sleep pattern is very irregular right now because I'm sitting here going, when's the all-time high? I want to know. I want to see that. And it's
I was up at least 8 times during the night last night. I mean, we are on the verge. I
have my laptop next to me sleeping. It's lucky I'm single because it's sleeping next to me and I roll over and I'm like, oh no, it's not there yet.
So today's show, Lisa, we're going to look first at the Bitcoin and Ethereum charts. Then I want to just go a bit more macro with you. I know you're extremely knowledgeable. You've been in the space longer than pretty much everybody. So if we can look at a couple of charts, then we'll go a bit macro, and then we'll go through some alt charts after that.
Cool.
So everyone wants to know, when are we getting an all-time high? We've nudged it. We've been $340 away.
We're so close. And there's, if we look at a lot of the exchanges that we can see where the trading books are. So if we look, I've been watching Bitfinex, BitMEX, and Bybit. So they all have visible trading books and we can see where the walls are. There's a strong wall on Bitcoin just before the all-time high. So we're rejecting from there. It's going to take a little bit of time to eat that away. So if I've been putting on Twitter the Bitfinex because they show all the bear tears, as I like to call them, as we know. So and on Bitfinex, some person with 150 BTC was liquidated yesterday. There was another one with 54 BTC liquidated up here today around this point. It's just insane the amount of liquidations that are going through. So, do not over margin. Like obviously greed kicks in at this point and we're going to over margin. And it's like, I'm going to make 10 times, 100 times, 500 times. Some of these exchanges are doing 1,000 times, which is really dangerous because you've got no room to move in such a volatile market. And I've got a few friends that have come across from traditional markets because just of the, obviously gold has moved $100 this year. Even with a margin trade on gold, moving $100, you're still not making 10 times you've made $1,000. Yeah. So Bitcoin has gone from $3,000 to right through to like where we are now, $19,000. So
just for the gold bugs out there before we move on, and we will talk about gold later in the show. I'm dying to do that. Bitcoin is the new gold.
Well, it's digital gold. So that's what we're sort of looking at. And it's like, these movements and the ability to make all of this money is drawing those people into Bitcoin right now. And that's where, we've got tether prints when we get to hold certain key levels. And, we obviously do have a lot of sell pressure because there's a lot of, normal traders that are betting against the market. It's like, it's a bull market, guys. It's like long it. It's like eventually we're going to get, one of those wicks. So, I was talking to Sean before we come on and just saying that, even with those wicks, I don't need to have a stop because I'm not going to ever get liquidated. Like my margin trade is so low. It's like a 3 times margin trade. It doesn't matter. It's like it would need to like completely like just obliterate Bitcoin for me to get stopped out in that trade. When you're on high leverage trading sites like Prime and like Bybit and Bitfinex and BitMEX, they're the ones that you've got to be really careful with. So, not over margining. So, and I recommend to everyone, if they are going on to like BitMEX, use the testnet. So it's testnet.bitmex.com, and practicing with that before, so you know how the high leverage works.
Yep.
Because if you're going to get onto that, you're going to lose your money. And I'm just hearing it like, I don't mean to laugh, but it's like, don't complain about the game, learn to play it. And this is a fun market to play in. It's like there's so much money in it. And it's like we've got billions and billions of dollars entering every day. So, we're above halfway. And, last time when we hit the all-time high, I showed you that chart that I did the algorithms. So when we were at this point at Bitcoin, we were at the all-time high. The total market cap was at 782 billion. We're still only just over halfway here. So we're about not even 2/3, I think, of the way. So we've got so much more room to move. So with that, Bitcoin can make 30,000, and I really truly believe we can make 30,000. So,
well, I'm making a margin trade right after the show, so
a lower margin trade.
Not financial advice, people.
No,
not financial advice.
So with Bitcoin, so I've got a theory. So this goes back into a marketing background where we're looking at how value is perceived. So when you think of marketing, and it's the word of mouth marketing works so much better than pushing something out there. So when you've got products like Gucci and they're in all the high level magazines, so Bitcoin's been marketed to a lot of these grayscales and Novogratz, and they're coming into the market because this is there's money here, and we can hold this long term and get a really good return. So that's and then the market sort of comes in, but when it hits a mainstream market is not going to be until we reach that all-time high. So we don't have the mums and dads investors here yet. And we will see, they're only just starting to come in. So I've got friends asking me.
Just a side note on that, Lisa, the New Zealand pension fund I've just found out is actually invested with Novogratz as Galaxy Digital. So
it's like that.
The mums and dads are coming in
mums
that
and
way.
Dads.
Right?
So put your feet up on the chili. Put your feet up in the chili bin. Relax with Novogratz. It's like, there you go. There's his slogan. So
I don't even know they're invested in Bitcoin for their pensions, but they are.
Wow. Well, it's a good return. It's a really good return.
But buy it yourself. OAP.
Yeah, buy it. That's not financial advice, but
True.
Yeah.
Oh.
So with all of that, so once we hit the all-time high, mainstream media, news outlets, that sort of thing, are going to run with this story, because this is a massive sort of a growth for Bitcoin again. So while we haven't gone from sort of like in 2017, we went from like $100 or $200 right through to where we are now. So at this point where we bottomed out at around the $3,000, $4,000 mark, we were already 10 times what we were back in 2017. So if we're looking at Bitcoin with the amount of money that needed to pump in to get to that point, then that's where the total market cap needed to be 782 billion. So we haven't even got those people coming in yet. So once the FOMO kicks in, which is the fear of missing out, and it's like, so this is the thing as well. So value's perceived where something is valuable. So people, and a lot of traders as well, and hodlers didn't buy Bitcoin when it was $3,000, because there was this perceived idea that, it was continuing to go down. It was not worth the money. And then, a lot of those people it's why I have the bears on my chart at 10,000. So a lot of those people sat out because they're like, no, Bitcoin's going to go down. We all know the filling the gaps. We all know that sort of stuff. And they waited. So, at $3,000, a lot of people started buying at $5,000, and we saw that spike that, you know, we got to $7,000, $8,000. And at that point we were making gaps and in the CME, and people were saying, no, it's going to come back to the gap. So a lot of people sold in that region. So we had that, that correction bridge that we got, and it continued. So because we had the influx of Tether, and which in my opinion is not illegal. So, you know, you can take a loan, you can repay a loan, and this is what happens with Tether. So there's nothing illegal. So they take the Tether loan, they sell the Bitcoin higher up, and, you know, that's often we get those big dumps. So that's kind of what happens. At some point along the way, we're going to get a rug pull. I don't think it's at the all-time high. The reason being, we need to hold that region for news and media outlets to take this, and, you know, we get that adoption from mums and dads and retail investors. So it's a key critical level that we need to hold. I think, you know, we're not going to get a correction until around sort of the 22,000 mark here. So I think with this channel we've got here, we can see that potentially we can go up. We will get a wick up, which will then draw a lot of people out going, oh my God, we're going up forever. And then it will get taken down. So I really think that once that happens, we will hold around the all-time high. I don't think it's going to go down and you know, drop to these massive, like this massive drop that we're having. I don't think the bears that are waiting down here at sort of 8 to 10,000 are going to get their gap filled. So I think they're going to be waiting a long time. There's a gap. There's all gaps at 1,000, 3,000. They've been unfilled for years. So it's like this theory of gaps is not, you know, viable in this market. So when you look at the bigger picture, so when we zoom out, and that chart that I showed everyone a few weeks ago when Dee Dee mentioned it was just epic. It just showed that this is like a dominant bull market, and we were going up, and it was like literally just as we went up.
Yeah.
So yeah, so so I think, you know, we'll hold these levels. We'll see this slow rise. This morning I called it the stairway to heaven, which basically we're going to hold. We'll go to 22,000. We might see. So there's a term that that goes with my green dildos. So right now we're having a cryptogasm.
Okay.
Especially in XRP. So yeah, so if we'll get to
XRP in a moment.
Yeah, we will, because I wish we had Dee Dee here so he could talk XRP with me.
I think he'll be back soon. But look, you mentioned some interesting things there. A lot of that was sort of based around the psychology of these big players that are maybe in this market now.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we all know that Bitcoin has a history of retracing, 70 to 80%. Personally, I doubt we'll see that sort of retrace again.
I think we will see that retrace, but I don't think maybe not 70%, but I do think we will see maybe sort of a 45 to 50% retrace.
I agree.
So
where I was going with this is just basically, I agree with you. I think, these new players that are in this market now, the Michael Saylors, the Paul Tudors, we all know that one trade can wick this market $1,000 in either direction. For me, the psychology of this, as we all know, this is front page news around the world when we hit a new all-time high. For that reason, I'm not.
Yeah, see, that was epic. And at that point, for anyone that was in this market, everyone wanted to know what Bitcoin was. Obviously, we've been in this market. I've been in this market since 2010. So, and I would tell people way back when, just invest in Bitcoin, buy one, buy two, and at the stage I was telling people it was like $10. So, I bought a car from like a Mini from BMW, and I told the guy there, make sure you buy Bitcoin. And he bought Bitcoin, and he bought BCH at that point. So because, when Bitcoin went to the all-time high, we sold, and then we bought BCH, and BCH continued. So, you know, it was this epic double moves, and it's like, and Litecoin was probably the most exciting trade that I did during that. It was just, and then Charlie Lee sold on SL, but it was like, you know, there was just these epic moves. And, you know, we got that feeling again this week with XRP from going, you know, on Coinbase, it went to 95 cents or something. So on most other exchanges, it was 70 or 80 cents, but that's still like, you know, we're looking at, it was 10 cents and it's gone to 80 cents. So that's huge moves, huge moves. And it's like, so those returns
on the last show we did. I mean, I think it was 3 weeks ago we last did a show. You certainly called this big Bitcoin move. Well done on that.
Yeah, so I think I called the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and we were looking at Litecoin and yeah, and XRP at that point. So Litecoin hit my target as well at 92. So we had that correction for Litecoin. So if we go, this is the Ethereum chart we can see here, but I'll quickly go to Litecoin because I'm talking about that.
We'll come back to it.
So yeah, so we've got this chart where it broke out of the channel. See, this is what I look for. So we've got this channel we've had for quite some time that we were trading in, and it's, you know, it's kind of frustrating as a trader to trade these channels. You know, it's going there, but at any point it can sort of break out. So you've kind of got to hold those trades for such a long time if you are not playing these bounces. So then we've had this breakout here, and then on a breakout, for the health of the coin, we know it's going to come down. So, you know, if you've missed this trade, you can always add, you know, an order at the channel. That's what I would do. And then you know that you're going to get the last bit of that trade. So occasionally that can go against you and it continues the other way. But, you know, as long as you've got your stop losses managed, you should be fine.
Lisa, can we just go back to Bitcoin before we do Ethereum again?
Yeah.
Just wanted to get a couple of sort of key levels from you in the coming days and week. What are the sort of key points here we're looking at with?
Okay, so this is a 45-minute chart, and we can see here that we are holding these MAs, we're touching them, we're like, you know, they're wicking through, but these MAs are strong. So there's lots of support in these regions, and, you know, so when it does need to move sideways, it's got the support of both, you know, support and resistance of both the 200 and the 100. And we kind of know that.
Which one is the 200 here?
200's the dark pink and the 100's the light pink, the upper one. So we're seeing that strong support on all these timeframes. So when we're seeing these larger corrections happening with Bitcoin, they have been coming down. So we can see, like, when we go down to a 15-minute chart, that at the moment we're going to move sideways for a little bit. We have EMAs here. So I've got a 9 and 21. So if you I've run through this as a scalping strategy. So they are crossing over at the moment. So this is a strong buy in this region. So when they cross over, so this should break through here on the 100 MA and then continue higher. So, and then if I'm looking at this for direction, sometimes we get a neutral RSI, so it's a little bit hard, and these lines are quite neutral. But we can see in this region here, our 9 and our 21 are crossing over, so this means that we're going to continue up. So then I would look to the 30-minute. We've got strong support. We've crossed here, so we've had this correction here. And at this point, we're crossing over. So this means that we're going to continue up, which we are at the moment. So as we go through the charts and we test to see where it is, we can see that, again, we've got that support of the 100 and the 200 MAs. So, and also we are on a 45-minute here, and our EMAs and our both 9 and 21 are just about to cross over. So this means that on this chart, it's a 45-minute chart, we're going to get about 45 minutes of uptime on this chart. So, if we continue to our longer term ones, so let's go a 2 hour, we can see that this is a temporary correction, that the EMAs here are still remaining crossed down here. They haven't crossed bearish. So this is a very small correction, and that's what I look at. Sorry about my dogs. So Georgie.
Agreeing with you.
Yeah. So this, if we're back on a 4-hour chart, we actually have support of the EMAs. So our MAs are going to be way down here.
Yeah.
But when we have a look across the chart here of where the general overview direction of the market is going, our EMAs are holding this support, which is, EMAs are not as strong as MAs, but we can see that they're fanning out in this region, which means that this is a very shallow retrace. So, I've looked through all of it, and that's how I assess whether Bitcoin's going up or down. And yeah, so we can see that this region's going to hold, and we're going to continue moving. So, and being as Bitcoin obviously controls the entire market, we know that altcoins, so, I posted on Twitter yesterday that the Bitcoin dominance had hit support, and I suggested that I was moving my altcoin money into Bitcoin, which I did. And a few people have worked out what I do and how I tweet. And so they followed me, and then Bitcoin, we nearly hit that all-time high. So, if we
when are we going to hit the all-time high?
Oh, I think, see, in this, looking at a 4-hour chart, potentially we could do we've only just done an A wave, and we could be going up to do a B wave and then come down and retest here again for a C wave. So we could have a couple of days of this slow movement. So there's a lot of people going around saying that Black Friday, which is this week, that there's going to be a big dump. I really don't see that happening. It is possible. Anything's possible. Yeah, so it's even possible that Bitcoin could just take off now, but and we're filming this and we get the all-time high, and that would be really cool. But yeah, so potentially we could see like $1,000 drop on that Black Friday sort of drop. But I think there's so much support here in the market, and so many people with buy orders in that range, that it's, the wick is going to be like so fast back into this area. And we've seen every time it has wicked, you've got to be really quick. Like we had a drop where we dropped, I think, $900 about a week ago. And within that time, I think within an hour, we were back at the same price.
Yep.
So, it's everyone's like, oh my God, it dropped. I got to buy the dip. So yeah, I really think, and we can see like with Bitcoin right now, we are moving up. We've moved through that yellow line there.
What is even a longer term time frame chart? What are you seeing for Bitcoin?
So if we go. So if we go to a 12-hour, we've tested support on this, and technically this is now a rising wedge. So, and it is holding the support region down here. So we've got this diagonal support here. So kind of where the EMAs are holding. So, if we're looking at this, our MAs are way down. So potentially, at some point it will test those, but it's a fair way off. So with this market and with the direction, the parabolic moves that we're seeing in Bitcoin and the slow rise, we're not going to see those retests of those MAs for quite some time on these larger time frames. We're seeing them on the lower time frames, which is enough to hold this market. So, and we're seeing like the strong support here of the EMAs in this range, and they're basically hugging the waves as we go. So if we have a look, we've got strong support of the 9 EMA. So it's, you know, and where our technical pivot, we're above our next technical pivot. So, you know, there's lots of strength there in Bitcoin. We haven't, if you're a long-term trader, like if you're a day trader and you're doing a long-term swing, you would have bought down here on this daily cross of the EMAs. So the 7th of October, you would have paid like, what is that? $10,000. You would have bought it and you would have doubled your money since the 7th of October.
Seems like a long time ago.
It does. It seems like forever ago, doesn't it? So at this point, so this is another way of doing a long-term trade. So if we look at the EMAs crossing, you've got an EMA cross here on the 7th of October. So what's that? That's like not even 2 months, and you've almost doubled your money. Yeah. So this is the crazy thing. This is why we're all here for Bitcoin.
I'm a long-term trader or swing trader. So what do you what's the chart telling you for the end of year figure?
Well, end of year figure. So if we bring up, let me move that photo, load chart. Not a BLZ. I don't want a BLZ. Wrong codes. I want the BNX. So many codes, so little time. That's my slow internet. It's connected to my phone, people, because they took a tower out with a truck. So yeah. So this is the Brave New Coin Liquid Index. So basically this chart goes from the beginning of time. So I'm on a daily chart right at the moment. So we're on a diagonal resistance, which is this pink region here. You know, and we are going to push sideways for a little bit in this region. And then I've got a third wave target, which is what I was talking about earlier, going to about 22, depending on FOMO, we could get to about maybe 24-ish. So before we get a greater dive. So we have a long-term support. If we go back here, down where this fourth wave is, and it can drop with a wick to about 16. So there's a technical pivot at 16 that like every time we hit one of these pivots, it's an EW point, and it basically means we need to hold that point to continue higher. So this area, whales and exchanges will know that that's the case, and it will be heavily guarded. And yeah, so if you're a betting person, I always am, and I have some orders around that 16,000 mark, just in case. You never know. Yep. So yeah, so at this point, when we get up here, I think, while I don't think it may go that deep, I think we'll kind of hold the all-time high. We are going to see like a greater correction at that point. So before continuing up. And so I've got a wave 3 target of 32,000 before another deeper correction, because at this point, so we've got, wave 3 moves the fastest and the swiftest. Now this wave that we're in at the moment is a larger pattern wave 3. So we've, the all-time high was our one wave, and then going into this is like, we're going into, the next all-time high, which is like a total third wave, which will take probably a couple of years to happen. So, and then I've got a $50,000 like BTC target on this. So 49,784 is my fib targets. I do my fib slightly differently. I've explained that a lot over the period, that, I've got a certain way that I do fibs just for the crypto market. I've worked it out over the years. Yeah, so we can see that there's a couple of smallish corrections in here. I don't think, see, this is the thing, we should hold these sort of, these 19,000 to 16,000 ranges. and then continue up. So we will get corrections over time. They won't be these hugely long corrections that we saw like for 18 months to 2 years after the all-time high. And yeah, we'll continue.
I agree.
So
it's an entirely different market now, isn't it, with these new players?
Yeah, it's a very, very different feel to the market. It's more controlled. Like
The COVID market. People have understood what hard money is.
Yeah, they have. They really have. It's like I'm really been grateful that I've had this time, and I've, over the last couple of weeks, a lot of people are reaching out and just thanking me for all the time and effort that I've put in. So it's been wonderful to know that, what I've been doing has been making a difference to like people that have been sitting at home and don't have the means to work. So yeah, this like Bitcoin moving forward is really exciting, and I think there's big things happening.
I just want the average person out there to get a little more excited at the big players are here.
Well, like I said, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think the average person cares whether the big players are here. They care about, this is in the news, I must have some.
Yeah.
So it's like the FOMO. It's that, like, it's the viral marketing, so to speak. So it's like, did you hear that Bitcoin hit the all-time high again? Do you know what Bitcoin is? It's like, what is Bitcoin? It's like, and then, people start talking.
Yeah.
And it's like, the amount of people that are coming to me now compared to like a year ago is massive.
Oh, there's no comparison. We were talking before this video as well. The sort of, I have crazy memories in December 2017 of helping, friends and family set up wallets and buy Bitcoin. Many of them, I was shaking my head as they bought around this region, actually. Very, very similar price point.
Yeah, so maybe they would have made some money now. So
well, Lisa, the difference is, tonight I'm meeting somebody with nearly $500 million under management who wants to learn about Bitcoin. That crowd's here now. It's not my mate. So, I desperately want the little person to be selling into these bigger people, and it's not financial advice people, but learn about Bitcoin.
Well, that's kind of exciting because it's such a young market, so it's still only a 10-year-old market, and it's these big players with all this money that are just now starting to see that this is viable, this makes money. And with regulations coming in, a lot more regulations coming in next year, it does make it like a lot more safe and secure for them to bring their money into Bitcoin. So and that's why I've got a couple of bears that follow me, and they keep saying we're in a greater B wave, and I'm just like, okay, short it.
Yeah,
so it's like,
good luck with that at this point.
Good luck. Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's if we look at the people that have come in, they're viewing it as a treasury asset on publicly traded companies now. That's a massive change. So, I couldn't stress enough how big of a change that is for your average person out there watching this. And another thing to bear in mind at this point, gold's got a market cap of 10 trillion. These people are buying it. They're seeing it as a store of value or a speculative store of value that is rivaling gold and possibly will replace gold longer term. So, you extrapolate that figure out, that $10 trillion market cap compared to Bitcoin's market cap, that does actually give you that $500 million.
But you think about gold as an older asset. So a lot of sort of baby boomers and those sort of people own gold. So, those people are getting on in age. A lot of them are passing away. So then that money is then transferred down to the younger generations. Younger generations know what Bitcoin is. So,
and they're not buying gold.
They're not buying gold. They're not buying gold. So they're selling the gold. Gold's made like $100, and it's like Bitcoin's made nearly $10,000 since October 7. So it's like, it's a no-brainer for somebody our age, younger age, just coming into the market. And it's like, it makes sense. It's like,
have you got a gold chart there, Lisa, while we're talking about it, actually?
I haven't updated my gold chart forever because it's
I have friends with significant positions in gold, and the ones that do also have Bitcoin positions without a doubt. It's just, as you say, it's those new people that are, COVID has taught a lot of people economics, It really has. They've understood what money
It
printing
has.
is now, and they've therefore started to understand. I don't think you can understand truly what Bitcoin is without understanding macroeconomics. You've almost got to have that base layer. I did it the other way around. I learned economics by throwing myself in at the deep end and learning about Bitcoin.
Yeah.
That's been the amazing thing for me is really having that appreciation of really what money is now.
Yeah.
I wish I'd known that years ago.
Okay, so we can see this. I've just opened this chart. I haven't touched this gold chart for such a long time, and we can see that this is actually exciting. So it's just touched my lower target. We should start to see if we don't get a deeper retrace. So this lower target here that we can see on screen that we're just touching here is in conjunction with a diagonal support that we've got. And, we did break out. So it's no longer a B wave, and we should get one more wave up in gold. We should see sort of like that 2260-ish mark. It is possible that we do break down and we get a greater retrace here, which I don't think we will. We've got, like we see in Bitcoin, we've got strong support of these EMAs. We've got strong support of the cloud. So this is seeing this is actually really good. So this means that there's still money coming into the market. Our MAs have closed but they're starting to flip, and our RSI down here is starting to bottom out. So yeah, I think gold's got a bit of a bounce incoming very soon.
You made a number of my friends very happy with that comment.
So yeah, so I think you'll see 2260 on gold in the, it could take years, but it's gold. It's like it's not like it's
been
Bitcoin.
Around for 5,000 years. So.
Yeah, but see, this is the thing. This is the difference in cryptocurrency. When I say we're going to get a target of 2260 on gold, it might take a year. It's like when I say we're going to get an all-time high on Bitcoin, it takes 6 months.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's literally the difference.
Ethereum, Lisa.
Yes, we're getting there.
What are your thoughts on Ethereum?
Yeah, let me close these down.
And then I'll let you crow about your Ripple
altcoins.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ethereum. So we reached the soft cap on the 2.0, which when that happened, we got a strong move upwards. We hit my 599 target. And we've come back and we are retesting this channel support. Now, this is a really, really good sign, like retesting these channel support regions. It shows strength, and, Ethereum has been in this channel. So if we go to a daily chart, sorry about my, it's quite difficult. I'm on my laptop because my other computer is just not working. So you would think with all the Bitcoin money I've made, I can buy a new one, but or buy some good internet.
I'm going to ask you which is the more bullish chart of Ethereum's and Bitcoin's at the moment as well.
Bitcoin's actually the more bullish. So Ethereum's still in this, Bitcoin's in this the stairway to heaven channel, so which is quite a bullish channel. They're going to make similar percentages. So Ethereum and Bitcoin are, they don't make massive percentages. They're literally the only charts that I do margin, and I only margin them 3 times. So it's not like I'm overextended on a margin on any of those. So, so we can see Ethereum here. It has lots of room to go if we can hold this support, which I think we will. There's, if you follow whale calls on Twitter, there's a lot of Ethereum coming out of exchanges and going to Uniswap and, doing that sort of thing. So the money flow is starting to happen again. So we've got a lot of BTC going to Xapo and a lot of BTC getting wrapped right now. So, there's so much money going into those other markets that these regions should, really hold that buoyancy and keep bouncing.
Okay.
So yeah, so Ethereum, my next target on this is 696. And then we've got, I don't have it on this chart. Hang on, let me go to one of my other charts. We've got 3 charts on Ethereum. I can't find my long-term chart. Where are you, long-term chart? This might be it. This is not going to open now. It's like, so dude, need some thinking music. Okay.
I got some friends who are very, very bullish on Ethereum at the moment.
So if we have a look,
Convinced.
Technically, this is an old chart.
I've also got some friends who are dumping all of their Ethereum and going completely into Bitcoin for the bull market.
So Ethereum, I'm seeing sort of shortish term for this next run, 1,045. We will probably come very close to the all-time high on Ethereum on this next run. So yeah, it's still looking very, very, very bullish. So if we go to a higher time frame, obviously, I'll just get rid of some of this stuff. So, you know, we've got cross supports, we've held cross supports in these regions, we've hit key levels, and we've literally taken off. So, you know, this is a really nice looking chart. So if we have a look down here, we completed down at $82 with a Z wave, and we've continued up. We had this strong resistance, which we dipped under for a little bit here. And, you know, we were sort of fighting with that a little bit. But that also forms part of the channel that we were in. So while we do have this larger, which was kind of the central point of that channel. So we've crossed above sort of a lot of resistance here. And yeah, so now we're moving up. So if we go even to a 3-day chart here, we can see that we've got this really, really beautiful cup. So we've got an Adam and Eve formation here, and yeah, this is looking really strong. So long term, we've got 1,045. There's no reason why we can't reach all-time high and pass that. So in even longer term target, we're going to get to around 2,000. Provided Ethereum continues to meet the markers of 2.0. So if it doesn't, projects like DOT are going to take over. So, you know, and that's, so if we jump into DOT, it's got this beautiful like formation that we're seeing in Ethereum right now as well. So, so if we have a look at the charts and that curve, so it's that very, very similar curve that we've got here in Ethereum that we see moving up. And then we go to the DOT chart, which is a much younger chart, but we've already got that curve happening. So, you know, with this pattern, we've got an easy $7.50. And then a longer term target I've got on DOT is $12. So there's really no reason why this can't go there and continue on. So I really think, from my perspective, this is not financial advice, but holding, you know, DOT long term, you don't even, I think this is a very viable project and one that's going to yield a lot of money.
Okay.
So yeah. And then let's go.
How about a BSV chart? There's been plenty of action there lately.
Okay, I'll go BSV first before so BSV, obviously they have been waiting for such a long time on this chart. We had so much accumulation in this region, and our longer term, like, you know, MAs, and we're just like, we were stuck for so long under this region, you know, and we almost went back down here, and it was at this point, it was quite pivotal that we needed to hold this region. We did. We've got a lot of the community that didn't believe that this was going to happen are obviously trying to sort of work out where they're going to buy into this at the moment. And we can see, like, with this bounce here, like we've had a correction down to 196 and we've already moved $10, which is massive when you think that's like, you know, it's only a $200 coin and you're moving $10. So yeah, it compared to Bitcoin. So you've got a $20,000 coin, and you know that's in comparison, it's sort of like a, you know, $1,000, $2,000 drop.
Okay.
So it's if you've got a lot of BSV, it's quite a painful drop. But if you don't, it's not too bad because it's only a $200 coin. So yeah. So if we have a look, XRP. So I called it.
You did?
Yeah. So when everyone was telling me how wrong I was back at 30 cents, it was under 30 cents actually, I think. We were, where's it going
next then, Lisa? You've absolutely called it on our last couple of shows, but where's it going next?
Okay, let's zoom out on XRP. So back here, it was September 9. So 7, 8, 9, 24 cents. We were 24 cents. That's epic. So, did you buy it, Sean?
No. I'm never going to buy XRP. I've already told you that.
It's like
I have a bad personal history with it, dating back to 2016, which has nothing to do with it's just.
It's like a bad Tinder date for you.
It is, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, no disrespect to anyone involved in XRP or anyone trading it using charts. For me, it's just a shitty story, and I don't want to talk about XRP.
So on XRP, we've got strong diagonal support along here. We're bouncing, like there's so much FOMO happening in XRP right now. Yeah. We have this, you know, in this region, this is major, which is not really major. On a couple of the exchanges, it was a little bit more major than other exchanges. So like Coinbase hit almost $1 and then it corrected down to, I think, 60 cents or something. So that's quite a big drop when you're thinking about it. So whereas like on, this is Binance. So Binance reached about 77 and the drop here was 56. While it's a fairly large drop, it still is holding that region. So, and this, you know, this is potentially, to me, this is a fourth subwave of the overall third wave. So we've still got a lot more room to climb. So, you know, if we do get a FOMO fifth wave, so a fifth subwave of this third wave, I really think we can sort of climb over the $1 mark. I think $1.02 is easy. If we have a look at Bitfinex chart, I think over it's sort of a longer term period. On this next wave, I think we will get about $1.28, and then we'll see a deeper correction, and then we'll continue up. We've got an airdrop happening with XRP, so there's a lot. Obviously, when that happens in December, we're going to get a sell-off. But I do think we'll get to like at least 128 and 160 as a wave extension. So, and we've seen that it's possible with the massive FOMO in this market.
Yeah, Stella's pretty much mirrored the XRP moves as well. So well done, Jim McCaleb. You're a happy man at the moment.
So another chart that's looking really beautiful is TRX. Now, Justin Sun's going to be so excited about this. And Reason being, it's following a strong EW pattern. Our first and our fourth wave have not crossed over. They didn't even cross over by a wick, which I sometimes allow in a leveraged market. So because we do get those drops and those sort of extreme moves, like I do allow a wick on higher time frames. So it's something that we always need to look at. But this, yeah, it's moving strongly. I think we're going to get to 67, 68 cents here before we get a greater correction. So, which is in line with BTC going up as well. So Chainlink, we've got, Chainlink is looking really beautiful. So we've got a stairway to heaven happening in Chainlink as well. So we've had strong support of these MAs coming up. And, you know, so the 22 target is looking more and more likely right now for Chainlink. So, and this is a target I've had for quite some time. When we did get the larger correction here in Chainlink, we held key levels again, which is this star point. We needed to hold this point just for EW purposes, and we did. We had strong consolidation in this channel, and now we've broken out and we're in this stairway again. So, yeah.
So all looking very bullish in crypto land. My one concern, and it's always been my concern, is what's going to happen when the S&P corrects.
Wow. Yeah, I don't
the
think...
S&P will correct. Will it correct?
Will it correct? So Magic Poop Cannon, who I love, JD, he's an amazing guy, and he posted on TradingView just recently a chart, and he thinks he's got a whole theory about money coming out. You know, Biden's in, and potentially he could do what Obama did, and the country could go into recession. I have a whole different theory on that, as we know, that you know, potentially that might happen in the traditional markets, but we've got a lot of the non-traditional market, the traditional market people, as we've said, moving into crypto. Yep. So that may keep crypto from like absolutely crashing, and it may keep crypto going. So I really see the greater plan of crypto of getting it out into the marketplace and getting it known. And to do that, it's this word of mouth marketing. So, and that's the best way to do it. And it's like, so somebody tells you, oh, I entered crypto and I made $1,000 in a day. And, or I doubled my money in a week. So, you know, that extreme volatility is going to continue to attract like these traditional traders to the market, especially when like gold is not moving huge amounts. The S&P, you know, is going the wrong way. So yeah, I really think that's going to happen. So, you know, retirement funds are moving across, like you said, with the New Zealand ones, and, you know, Kathy's going to be very happy. She's sitting there. Yes.
It's the big difference this time round, isn't it? I mean, these big macro players, I think, are going to pick up the dips.
Yeah.
You know, Bitcoin's always going to be volatile while we are going through that, you know, while it's finding its feet effectively.
Well, you think about it. If you're a macro player and Bitcoin's now 19 or whatever, and you can potentially buy it cheaper, why wouldn't you buy it cheaper? So, and then it's like, if it doesn't go there.
At least long term, I think we will look back, and even in, not long term, even in a couple of years, I think we'll look at the price today and think this is cheap, in my opinion.
Well, I look at the price in 2017. I'm like, I was telling people to buy it at $200-300.
Yeah.
So the price like today is like so much more expensive. And I like, you know, when I've seen this whole run, and I started telling people to buy Bitcoin at $10.
Yeah.
And most people thought I was completely crazy. And this is where this value thing comes into it. Most of those people that I told to buy it at $10 didn't buy it until it was like going up into the thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Like people were coming in and buying it at $5,000. And it's like, I'll buy it now because it's valuable. It's like,
I'm going to buy it at this price and above in the future, no doubt.
Well, I'm just buying the dips. So I'm just like, you know, filling in. So I'm keeping my stock fluid as we go.
Buying it
I'm
at the
buying
hundreds of
dips.
dollars like I did.
So,
Yeah, they were different days. You know, I used to pay. We had a little sort of circular economy of people living in some tropical islands where we used to pay each other in Bitcoin for, you know, hotels, bars, everything. Where we used.
yeah, well, I think, you know, if I went,
Now I'm like, someone asking me to spend Bitcoin now is like, fuck off.
well, I still spend Bitcoin. So this
Yeah,
is the thing, like, you know, and if I think like of all the money, because I live, this is how I pay my bills.
There's other
and
coins
it's
for that,
like,
not BTC.
well, no, because a lot of those other coins have moved actually more. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, but I've got a whole thing where I've got my money all split up into different things. And then when I think Bitcoin's going to move, I drag it all across to Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I go all in on Bitcoin. So, and then there was one time it stayed there for like 3 weeks and all the alts were popping and I'm like, oh, this is killing me. But anyway, can't always get it right 100% of the time, but it did go up eventually.
Yeah.
So, but that's the thing, like if I added up over the years, like money that I, you know, lost on paper wallets, money that I lost in Mt. Gox, money that, you know, I've spent like in the early days, like buying stuff when, you know, Bitcoin was so low price, even like just paying my rent this year. And it's like, so, you know, spending Bitcoin at $10,000 when it's now nearly $20,000. And it's like, that makes my rent, like, you know, say it's $2,000 a month, now makes my rent $4,000 a month when you think about it. So, you know, that's that inflationary thing. So, but, you know, I tend to not think about it. This is how, you know, I'm very privileged to be in this industry and to be so well off and to be making money like every day from doing what I do. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's, you know, for me as a Bitcoin educator, it's a strange feeling. You know, I started doing this in 2016, but I almost feel like now it's time to double those efforts. I still think there's time for the average person to be able to sell to wealthier people in the future with their Bitcoin and their other cryptos.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. We're also getting so close to there being no more Bitcoin able to be mined.
Yep.
So, you know, once that happens, the price of Bitcoin, it's then like a scarce asset. And it's like, it's just going to go through the roof. So,
yeah, well, I mean, to put that in perspective, I mean, miners can only mine 900 Bitcoin a day.
Yeah.
Grayscale, a huge player in the space, they bought over 10,000, or they added over $10,000, or sorry, 10,000 Bitcoin at 18K. So, you know, when you think who is buying at these higher prices?
Well, they've been adding the whole way. So they've just been like Grayscale and you know, Liberty Financial and Fidelity and, you know, all of these big players in the region are just adding on all the dips. It's like as they get, you know, they create new funds and they just add. So, and it's like dips are for buying right now. And I think the overall long-term health of the market is looking really positive, unless some sort of, you know, major black swan event happens, which I don't see happening.
To me, it's a bug. The only thing that kills Bitcoin is that's it, you know. And
yeah, that's it. But it's like, you know, when we were looking at, you know, the traditional markets in
actually,
my Discord,
it's two things. It's two things.
What's that?
It's a bug, and potentially how regulators might handle the mixing, the tainted Bitcoin, so to speak.
Yeah,
I still see that as a big issue that I don't think.
It could be, but I think it will run quite. I think there's enough big players in Bitcoin now so it does run quite smoothly. You know, there's enough sort of government sort of.
A lot of hardcore people in Bitcoin that want all Bitcoin to be tainted.
I don't think they're going to get that wish. I really don't. Like maybe I've got my rose-colored glasses on. Hang on.
Yeah, but if it's been through a mixer, you know, companies like BlockFi, which are effectively rehypothecating Bitcoin, would be a way to look at that. But you know, companies like that are going from strength to strength. You can make interest on your Bitcoin, but they don't accept something that's been through a mixer. Now, when you received that Bitcoin, you may not have known that had been through a mixer when you got it. So we could see these tiered levels of Bitcoin. How that plays out for me is still quite a big factor.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. So how far back on the chain are they going to know that this has been?
I don't know.
Mixer?
And these are the things
Like,
that be close.
how tainted is all Bitcoin, that all Bitcoin might be tainted with that issue unless it's newly mined.
Yeah.
So eventually, it's like any $100 bill or any money that you touch in America is tainted with cocaine.
Yeah.
So it's the same principle that, all money's tainted with drugs, and all Bitcoin eventually will be tainted with drugs. So how do you police that?
It's going to be an interesting area moving forward. I know your brother's got some strong thoughts on that one.
Well, he probably does. I haven't talked to him for a while, so I haven't had that discussion.
But, the big, maybe to close the show out, the big difference for me is if I compare where we sit now to, helping those friends out who were literally had that FOMO, they had the crazy eyes. They needed to buy now. Bitcoin was, we're watching the price just ticking up while I'm setting up their wallets and helping them buy. No, I was shaking my head. I'm like, damn, you sure you want to be?
2017 was it was epic. That feeling of euphoria. And if we have a look at the Wall Street cheat sheet, we're not even close to that feeling yet.
No, retail's not back. Retail's
no.
not back.
So, if we're looking at this and we're starting at $3,000 down at the low, we're going to $30,000 before euphoria kicks in.
Yeah.
And it's because, we were at $300 and then, people were coming to me when Bitcoin was hitting 3,000 going, I've just heard this thing. And it's so we're at 10 times. And then we went, again. So that euphoria, starting with for people that I told to invest at $10 is massive.
Yeah.
We may not see that again. We may see it if we get to if you hold long term, but that 2017 euphoria that we have, I don't think we're seeing it because
that was a retail FOMO bull run. For me, this one is 100%, in my opinion, just my opinion, but this is just completely about COVID. It's about these big institutional players understanding this is hard money. They've got their heads around what Bitcoin is, and is it a better money to a US dollar, to a New Zealand Aussie dollar?
Exactly, but
that's what the change in price is. It's
that is what it is, and it's more easily transferred. It's more easily used, and it's where is
it to gold and that sort of hard money contest. So why wouldn't an institution have a position in BTC and say not to? And they're getting that. We've seen the Michael Saylors come in, the Paul Tudor Jones. We've seen what PayPal are doing now. We've seen the amount Grace.
Don't get me started on PayPal, because PayPal, you can't actually withdraw Bitcoin, so it's not Bitcoin.
I think they're going to be a major player. I think like all these.
Eventually, I think they will, but right now they're not. So I am not entirely sure if they even hold that amount of Bitcoin that they're selling. So that's the thing. And it's so is this going to be some sort of event where, you're buying Bitcoin? I hope that they're buying the Bitcoin when you're buying the Bitcoin and they actually holding it, but you're not able to move it off.
Yeah.
So, that's the concern with PayPal. You can use it and you can pay with it, but is it actually Bitcoin? Is it? None of those transactions are on chain. So, and that's what Bitcoin is.
True.
It's traceable transactions. So, sorry to burst everyone's bubble.
Yeah, true. Well, Bitcoin is a number of things, and I think this year for these big players, they've realized it's hard money. It's
but that's the thing.
really
We haven't
that.
seen that FOMO come into the market that we saw in 2017. It's not here yet, and it's not going to be here until this hits the retail mums and dads. It's it's not
how much
there.
money that crowd actually has to spend, and whether they will consider this a real hedge against further calamity, because most people are living through a calamity right now. Do they have the money?
But that's where coins and tokens like XRP, BSV, Litecoin, come into play. And that's, I'm serious, that's what happened in the 2017.
Please definitely say this is not financial advice, Lisa.
This is not financial advice. It's like, do whatever you want with your money. I don't care. But this, like, when you're looking at these coins and tokens, and when you're somebody who doesn't know cryptocurrency, yes, you know, you go, oh, this is Bitcoin. And then you get onto an exchange, I want to buy Bitcoin. You're setting it up and you're like, oh, this one's only $200. This one's only $90. I can own a whole coin.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
That's the mentality. And it's like, you talk to these people, that's the mentality. I want to own a whole coin. So
the other reality, and I'm not sure what's happening in Australia, maybe you might have some knowledge on this, but I know here in Singapore, you know, we've had one of the bigger banks gear up. They're going to offer Bitcoin and a few other coins to their customers. It's definitely happening in the US. A global bank I was at with their head of compliance the other night, they're about to offer it. They're setting up crypto desks as well. I mean, it's going to grow like wildfire over the next 2 years. We will see that scenario where, you know, the mom and pop investors who want some exposure to Bitcoin can just
well, that's actually happening. And there's somebody that I know is actually working on integrating blockchain into a big national bank right now.
In Australia.
Yeah, in Australia. So that he's working on that that system at the moment.
Yep.
So, you know, that's about to happen and about to pop. So we haven't even got there yet. So this is all these things that are happening. So when people see this price and we're only hovering around the all-time high, it's like there's so much room to grow. So much room to grow.
So some half decent trading skills to know when to buy dips, or, you know, just the basics, I think, are a good idea. People.
Well, a lot of the hodlers I know are doing really, really well. So they've been buying the dips as we go, and all of them are in profit. So you only have to be a hodler in this market. I
think it's only my buddy Buy the Top Scott that's the only one that's still out of profit on Bitcoin. Sorry, Scott.
Buy the Top Scott.
I was going to do that. Give it a few more days, mate. You might be back in.
Did he hodl the whole time?
No.
Oh,
no, he sold it.
He could be in profit. He sold the bottom.
True. I mean, that's an interesting stat, isn't it? There's only a handful of days now that
we're almost there. If we can cross that, it's like, this is exciting times where we're heading to the all-time high. Let's have a look. We're in that sort of consolidation, and it's like we haven't left waves right now to actually, you know, continue up here. So if we've had a shallow retrace, we could continue up tonight. So, you know, I've got heaps of people telling me on Twitter that it's going to happen on the 6th or 7th of December. I don't even know why that's a thing. It's like, why can't it happen today? It's like,
it could happen at any moment. We would have, as we discussed before.
It needs to happen when I'm awake. I want to see that. I want to witness it breaking. So it's like
big moment.
Yeah.
Big moment. Yeah. I've had years of people telling me I was an idiot for being in this space, but, you know, it's really just.
It's about time we got to say, I told you so. I told you so. Yeah, it's like, that's it.
Then we get an inflation bug tomorrow and it's all over.
Such negativity.
Not going to happen.
I'm manifesting that Bitcoin's the biggest thing.
Anything can happen, Lisa. Anything can happen.
But you know that, like, my manifestation, I've told you before, every time I spend money or crypto, 10 times money in crypto comes back to me, and it's happening.
Well, my not financial advice, people, but I certainly think Bitcoin and Ethereum have got a 10x in them over the coming years, without a doubt. My rationale for that, you know, if you just look over the 12 years, that percentage increase in Bitcoin's running well over 200%. So extrapolate that out over the next few years at the current price. And
well, we've had almost 100% gain since October 7. So
crazy. Well, not crazy. I mean, it's different, isn't it? Because this time it's a lot clearer. If, you know, these big players are coming in for, you know, the 50 millions, the billion. They're big players, and now we're sort of really hearing what we've always known. They've been beavering away for the last few years in the background.
Well, I'm just so excited that, you know, I've stuck to my guns. I didn't change it. I've been telling people since March that this is going to happen, and here we are. here we are.
I just want to see.
So-
I just want to see more of the little person getting some exposure to this space. That's the thing that annoys me. I know Dee Dee the other day sort of talking in terms of rich Bitcoin becoming a bit of a rich person's asset.
Yeah.
And, yeah, there's some truth to that, but at the end of the day, I think, if you look at supply and demand here and the basic macros, yes, these players are, they're going to buy the dips, but I think, you can still come in here, and especially if you're just a hodler on BTC, I still think you're probably going to do pretty well.
You see my dog jumping up. She's like, feed me, feed me. Can you see
On
her?
that note, Lisa, go to feed your dog.
There she is.
And listen, we're going to do that live show. Obviously, I think the next week or two is just super exciting on so much.
I would love to do the live show. The reason being I want to do the live show is I want to have the interaction and the questions coming in, and then if people do have those questions, we can address them and know what you guys are thinking. So hit Sean up, make him do the live show.
I'll put a link up on the YouTube channel in the next couple of days. We'll schedule it for next week. It might be a rushed one if we hit all-time highs though.
Yeah, if we're approaching that all-time high, we might jump on and do a live show. So Sean needs to work it out.
Smash the likes and hit the notification button. That way you'll see when that video, the live.
Yeah, so subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified. Smash the likes.
You're really good at that, Lisa. Well done.
I know.
All right. Awesome having you back, and fascinating times. And thank you to everybody for watching.
And I've missed you guys. I'm going to show you like my reason. This is my schedule. It was like insanely crazy. So, and with every meeting comes like more and more writing. So thank you for bearing with me, and I'm back.
Awesome. See you all soon. Cheers now. Bye-bye.